Hey guys, today's Friday, May the 15th, so this is your last video class. Won't be any next week. We have a test next week though on Wednesday. Let me go over what we're doing right now. So send any questions 1 to 18 on page 456, okay, today. If you can't send them in today, at least send them in by Monday, but I'd like to get them today so I can put grades in the grade book and start putting stuff together. Okay, we have one more test. That test is going to be on Wednesday. It's over the chapter that we're doing now, which I believe is chapter 23. That's the one we've been covering. Okay, this is on the digestive system and the urinary system. Remember, there's no exams. This is just a chapter test, so it'll average in with all the other tests for the fourth 9 weeks. Then take the third 9 weeks and the fourth 9 weeks and just average them together, and you get your semester grade. So, all right. Now, what I need you to do basically is to go back and look at the notes on the video lesson from Monday and Wednesday. Okay, so basically talked about the digestive system. Okay, so you need to go back and look at those. Okay, so if you have a question, you can email me. Okay, but that's where I'm going to get the majority. Most of the questions are going to come right from these notes. Okay, so we'll go back and review the notes. Okay, that you have. Make sure you have all of them for this chapter. Okay, so some of the things that we cover, I'm not going to take time to go back through every single one of them, but make sure you have these. Okay, so this is from Monday and Wednesday. This one very long. I covered digestive system on Monday, and I covered the urinary system on Wednesday. Okay, so make sure you go back and look at those. Okay, so that'll help you review. Okay, so these are all parts of the digestive system, which is called the alimentary canal, or the GI tract, gastrointestinal. Okay, so you have the accessory organs, which we talked about. There's 4 of them there, 5 actually, appendix. All right, then we have talked about vitamins and minerals. These are 6 categories of dietary needs. Okay, vitamins, minerals, waters, fats, it's 4 of them. Each of these are important, so make sure you go back and study this. Again, watch the videos from Monday and Wednesday if you haven't done that. Okay, so carbohydrates and proteins are the other 2. All right, remember digestion can be both mechanical and chemical. I gave you examples of both of those. So your teeth, that's mechanical, and chew up your food. Amylase is in your saliva, that's chemical. Okay, there's others, gastric juices in your stomach. Churns up, it does both mechanically and chemically. Okay, in your stomach. Okay, so there's mashes and grinds food, and pepsin. Pepsin is a chemical that breaks it apart. So you have mechanical and chemical digestion going on. Okay, again, same thing in your intestines. All right, and we talked about the urinary system. Okay, this is, I'm sorry, this is still the digestive. Okay, primary purpose of carbohydrates. It's providing energy necessary to make ATP during cellular respiration. Okay, so just briefly went over how it works with other systems. Okay, I had a couple of questions here we went over. Okay, so again, make sure you review the Monday and Wednesday. Okay, then we talked about the urinary system, metabolic waste. Okay, and how that works, moving urea from the body. Okay, kidneys, ureters. You have the kidneys. You have 2 kidneys. Okay, you have 2 ureter tubes, 1 bladder and 1 urethra. Ureter and the urethra are both tubes. Okay, this is all the urinary system. Okay, the kidneys, we talked about the difference between the renal artery and the renal veins going in and out of the kidneys. Talked about nephrons, which is the basic units of the kidneys. That you have hundreds of thousands of these in your kidneys that filter out waste. Okay, so 3 major functions: filtration, reabsorption, secretions. That's how it works to filter out waste. Okay, remember urine's about 95% water, and then the other part is urea, which is the toxin. Okay, so there's some other substances as well that gets in there with vitamins and minerals and proteins. Okay, they're a very, very small percentage. Okay, but there are things that you wouldn't want in your urine, be abnormal, like glucose in your urine would be a sign of diabetes, or if you have urea, the urea should turn into uric acid, not urea. So kidneys aren't working right, then the urea is going to could cause kidney function, but urea has got to be filtrated and broken down to the urine. Okay, so urinary system in the body, the excretory system removes waste through the urinary system. Liver and the skin are also ways to get rid of fluids or exposed of from your body. Skin, you perspire. Okay, lungs as well. I don't think I'll put these here. So okay, but the urinary system is the main one. Okay, water is an essential nutrient. Okay, water balance in your body is very important. Okay, your body regulates water levels. Okay, you have ADH, which is antidiuretic hormones. So blinking, and there's made by your body to help you maintain water levels. But drinking plenty of water is a way to maintain good health. Okay, so 2 ordinary organs of the urinary system are sensory tubes, ureters, and urethra. Okay, so person having trouble with urea not being removed from their blood. So the urea flows in to the kidneys through the renal artery, and then it's filtered out and broken down into the urine. So it should not come back out on in the veins, the renal veins. If it is, then that's a problem. So your kidneys could be in danger of failing if that happens. So the urea is supposed to be removed from the blood system. All right, make sure you go back and review these notes from Monday and Wednesday. There's some other questions I'd ask and just go through those. But, all right. Let me see if I can go escape. Someone asked me the other day about the shark. I'm sorry we didn't get to do all of our dissections. We did miss out on that. I'll show you a short video here if you want to watch this.
Hey,
Shark.
Mustangs. In this video, we're going to take a look at the dogfish shark for the dissection that we did in class. So let's go ahead and start with the external anatomy first. So if we take a look at this tiny little shark here, this specimen, let's go ahead and start with the fins. So you have the pectoral fins out here towards the side. The dogfish shark has 2 dorsal fins. So you have anterior or first dorsal fin here, and you have a posterior or second dorsal fin here. Both have spines, so you see the fin spine there, and also on the back on this one. As we go to the back of the shark, the tail end is the caudal fin, so we see the caudal fin here. Turn it over to the ventral side, and we're going to see right here this pair of fins. This is the pelvic fins right here. This guy does not have the anal fins, so we see the pelvic fins right here. Now, since we're looking at the pelvic fins, we could take the chance right now to identify whether this is male or female. So when you look at the pelvic fins here, you should see that on this one, it's just a regular fin, but on males, they have claspers. And claspers are involved in reproduction, in delivering the sperm. So here, this is a female, and let's go ahead and compare this to a male. Okay, so if we look at this male here, and this is a young male, you can see that the claspers are developing right there. Now, in much larger sharks, you're going to see the claspers much larger than we actually see here. But you can see the difference between this one, which does not have that structure here, so no structure there, and this one does have the claspers. All right. So let's go ahead and look at the other features that we'll need to know. So the front part of the shark is not basically the nose end of the shark is known as the rostrum, very similar to what we saw in the crayfish. So the rostrum here. If we turn it over, we can see the nostrils. There's two holes. The smaller hole is for the intake, while the larger hole is for the release of water. And in there is a membrane for sensing chemicals in the water. So that is their nostrils. And you have two holes here and two holes on this side as well. The eyes, of course, on both sides of the head. The spiracles are involved in water intake as well. So the shark can actually use these spiracles to intake water when their mouth is closed, and that water passes over the gills, so that way they can take the water out of, the oxygen out of the water. So spiracles are involved with getting that oxygen into the body, pulling the water in. Shark's mouth doesn't have to be open for that to happen. Goes through, passes over the gills, and the gills uptake the oxygen. So that takes us to the gills here. So we have 5 slits on the side here, and these are the gills, which are involved in removing oxygen from water. And we have 5 gill slits on this side as well. And these guys have open gill slits. As we move along the shark here, we get to in between the pelvic fins is the cloaca, and this is the exit for the digestive system, and it's also the basically reproductive organ as well, or the tract into the reproductive organs. So that basically has 2 jobs that are involved with the cloaca there. All right, so that is the external anatomy of the shark. Let's go ahead. Oh, forgot one. The last thing is going to be the lateral line. So the lateral line, you see this faint line that goes along right here. So I'll bring it a little closer. So the faint line that goes along there, that is the lateral line, and that is used in detecting movements in the water. So water currents and movements in the water to allow the shark to know what's going on within the water. All right. So let's go ahead and take for the internal anatomy of the shark. So we open this girl up here. We know this is a girl because, again, if we look at the pelvic fins, we see that there's no claspers, so this is a female. So when we open her up here, we'll go ahead and start at the top. So towards the top here, leading into the stomach would be the esophagus. This large pale colored organ here is the stomach, so you see the stomach there. This green thing sticking off here is actually the gallbladder, so an organ involved with digestion. So we have the gallbladder there. It's very distinct because you can actually see the color. It is green there. So stomach. The biggest structures that you see when you open up the shark is actually the liver. And the liver has 2 main lobes here. So you can see one lobe here. It has a right and left lobe. So there's one lobe there and another lobe here that runs along this side. So that is actually the liver. Both of those come together to form the liver. As we move down from the stomach, so if we follow the stomach down, it leads us to the duodenum, which is a part of the intestines. And right here, we actually see this part here, this structure here. This is the spiral intestine, and it has a spiral valve inside. So if we were to actually cut it open, we see that it's much different than our intestine is towards the end, because our small intestine has the villi. These guys don't have those. They have a spiral valve instead, and that helps increase surface area for absorption of food. Here we have the pancreas. So pancreas is located right here. So right above, right here where the stomach comes down, the duodenum is, here is the pancreas. And as you follow it down through the spiral valve, towards the end here, we will see the rectal, let me get to that there, the rectal gland, and this is involved with balancing salt in the shark's body. And then these pink things here, we're looking at the kidneys. So right, kidneys. So make sure you study and know your parts, and be ready for your practical.
All right, hope you enjoyed that. And remember, let me remind you that our test will be on Wednesday. Okay, so study the notes that I gave you. If you have a question, please email me and then send me those questions today, page 456. All right, see you later.